Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Look at Bitcoin. It is at 88,400. Bitcoin is on a roll, and that is absolutely fantastic, especially considering the US market absolutely tanked today. But you can tell by looking at Bitcoin's chart, Dow slid more than 950 points. Today was a horrendous day for US markets. And that's because Trump yelled at Fed Chair Powell, called him many names. And you know what? Basically, Powell is urging, or Trump is urging Powell to cut the Fed fund rate, right? Which we all know right now it's not looking so good. But markets are spooked. There's a lot of earnings coming out. The tariff stuff is still happening. But despite all of that, Bitcoin is surging and is remaining strong. And that's why tonight I want to talk about how within 90 days, that's right, within the next 3 months, by the end of July, Bitcoin may be at $130,000. 138,000 to be exact. And why one analyst think it may happen, right? But right now, as you can see, we're holding very strong, even stronger than I expected. We jumped up 2,000 points yesterday, and now we have gone up another 1,000. And a lot of people thought we were going to go under today, especially with $1.5 trillion wiped out from the US market. Like I said, it's amazing that we have made such a decoupling today, right? And I think, I'm theorizing, I think I have the answer, but man, it's great to see, right? So what is that answer? Why did we decouple today? Well, I think it's because, well, there's a couple reasons, but the main reason is the dollar, the DXY. The DXY has been dropping like a rock. And ever since yesterday to today, the DXY, the strength of the dollar, has been going down more. And that's due to the turmoil. That's due to all the fear. There are people, there are countries, there are funds that are dumping the dollar right now, okay, because of all the tariff stuff, right? Normally, dollar goes down in a good environment. In bull markets, people sell off the dollar to buy investments. But right now it's the opposite. People are dumping the dollar because of fear, because they're afraid of what's happening and what may happen to the United States. So right now, people are looking for safe havens. And I do believe that's exactly what's happening. Look at Bitcoin. We are heading higher, guys. We are heading a lot higher, and with the combination of liquidations, you can see 100 million shorts liquidated, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I think that's the reason why. This started last night, so I think a lot of Asian countries, what they're doing is they're selling off their dollars or their treasuries or whatever, and they're actually buying Bitcoin, right? We've talked about Bitcoin being a store of value, being a hedge against inflation. And right now, it's early, but we're seeing signs of that. That's exactly what's happening. There's really no other explanation for where is all the money coming from and why all of a sudden, right? I think it's because of what's happening right now. Obviously, the tariff stuff has been happening for a while, but the dollar is crashing. We haven't seen the dollar strength go down this low for 3 years now, since 2022. So it's been a while. It's been a while. So it's fantastic to see Bitcoin showing so much strength right now, despite a volatile US market. That's awesome. And of course, the second reason why Bitcoin is so strong is because of all the long-term holders that continue to buy. Look at this. Since the halving event last year, okay, the miners produced 160,000 Bitcoin. But the ETFs alone, just counting the ETFs, bought more than 500,000 Bitcoin. You do the math. 340,000 more than what the miners produced. That's a whole lot. That's just from the ETFs alone. That does not include Sailor, MicroStrategy. They purchased like 600 million this morning. And it's amazing that now BlackRock and MicroStrategy combined hold more than Satoshi. They hold 1.1 million, slightly more than Satoshi himself. Not that that's really a good thing, but this is another reason why Bitcoin is so strong, because there are a lot of long-term believers that will not give up no matter what, because they understand and they believe. Bitcoin is the strongest asset. It's the most decentralized and secure network. Okay. And it's the true way, or you could argue the only way, to opt out of all the shenanigans. Every time we have economic disturbance, turmoil, right? Every time we have recession fears, inflation fears, all this that's caused by greedy Congress people or governments or central banks, the only way to opt out is by opting in assets that aren't controlled by these people or entities or sovereign states. And that's Bitcoin. And more people are learning about that. Right? Now, getting to that 90-day thing, right now, short term, Bitcoin dominance is going up. And if this continues, okay, if it continues, we could actually see Bitcoin rise up to the same level it did in 2021. And that could be kickstarting this next bull run, right? This next 3 months, the 90 days that I was referring to. And that's what this one analyst thinks. 138,000 within 90 days. That seems very bullish. Seems far-fetched. But remember, I've been saying how we just need a little push, a little catalyst. There is a lot of money on the sidelines waiting to jump in, waiting to FOMO. And seeing how we're so close to 90,000, we're not that far off from 100,000, guys. Once we break 100, we go back to 109. 138 is not that far off, right? Especially since now we're gaining strength despite a weak market. Who knows what might happen? If we get that quantitative easing happening, if not May and June, well, then a lot of movement can happen between June and July, right? But this one analyst thinks that this could happen because he's looking at this chart and he's looking at this high yield, and he looked at every time, and this has happened 38 times since 2010, every time this high yield interest rate has been over 8%, Bitcoin goes up 71% of the time 3 months later. And the median gain of those 71% is 31%. Now, if it did go lower, the worst loss is 16%. But if you're a betting man, you go by averages, 71%, pretty good averages. And what is this high yield rates? According to Grok, it often signals economic stress or tighter credit conditions, which can drive investors to Bitcoin as a hedge. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what we're seeing. People being driven to Bitcoin right now. So, are we seeing this? Maybe. Maybe. All right. Last thing I want to talk about, just so you guys know, outside of Bitcoin, we know that there are other things coming. The new SEC chair is going to weigh in on 70 crypto ETFs. 70. That's a lot more than what I expected, but Salana, XRP are on the top of his list. So that may be coming soon. These could be catalysts too, right around the corner, right? And we know that whales are also loading up, not just Bitcoin, but but they're loading up Salana. They're loading up on XRP. They're loading up on Cardano. They're loading up on everything. AVAX, SUI, Hedera. You know, they're loading up behind the scenes. Look at this. ARK Invest. Recently, Salana, they had ETFs introduced in Canada. ARK decided to stake Salana into those ETFs. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. But soon we will get our own, right? So it's looking pretty good, guys. Bitcoin being so strong right now in a weak market. This is the best case scenario. And let's see if it continues. But right now it does seem like the narrative is safe haven. People are being driven to Bitcoin because of fear of the dollar dropping, fear of just economic woes and uncertainty. And that is absolutely fantastic, guys. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.